If you are a new arm wrestler, you should get used to the fact that your arms will be in constant pain, especially after your table time sessions. That means that you'll have to find different techniques and strategies to heal up as quick as possible. In this video, I will show you different strategies that I have been using since I started arm wrestling to heal up quicker and to train without too much pain. I have to mention that these are not scientific strategies that I'm going to present to you. These are strategies that I learned over time from my own experience after trying many ways to recover faster. First, I'm going to briefly describe the pain, and then I'm going to present to you my strategy on how I dealt with the pain over time. It's also worth mentioning that every arm wrestling pain actually means that the area that is hurting is not strong enough. So concentrate yourself on strengthening those areas. Let's start with the most common arm wrestling pain, and for me, the most uncomfortable one, and that is the pain that you get in the area where your forearm connects to your bicep. I used to get this pain a lot when I started arm wrestling, and I still get it from time to time, but it definitely got significantly better. This pain happens because you pull a lot towards yourself on the table, which puts a lot of stress on the elbow flexors tendons. What helped me the most to get rid of this pain is in fact putting ice on the inflamed area and letting it recover for a few days. Pumping blood in this area never really helped me, to be honest, even though a lot of elite arm wrestlers are recommending it. And by far the most important factor if you want to get rid of this pain long term is to strengthen your elbow flexors, muscles and tendons. The second most common pain that I used to get in the beginning is the pain in the forearm flexors around my elbow, which is also called golfer's elbow. This pain comes primarily because you put a lot of stress when pulling on the table on the forearm flexors, which are your fingers and your wrist, also combined with a lot of side pressure. What helped me the most to get rid of this pain is exactly the opposite from what worked on the first example. This pain never goes away if I cool it up. It only goes away after pumping blood in the inflamed area by doing high volume work for the bicep and the wrist. For me, this is also the most comfortable arm wrestling pain, if you can call it like that. The third most common pain that I used to get is the pain in the brachialis muscle. This pain comes primarily because as a beginner, you get opened up all the time, which puts a lot of stress on the brachialis muscle. This is the pain that you get right here on the outer part of your upper arm. Now, after 2.5 years of arm wrestling, even after hard table sessions with guys who are stronger than me, I don't really get this pain anymore. When I had this pain, I usually did nothing for it, to be honest, because it didn't really bother me. I could train without any problem, and after 3 or 4 days, the pain completely disappeared. But if you want to do something actively against this pain, you can massage the inflamed area. Just take a tennis ball, for example, and massage the upper arm along the humerus bone. It's pretty hard to pump blood in this area. The only thing that would help is to pump blood in your bicep by doing high volume work, and this will automatically pump blood in your brachialis muscle. Try both methods out, pumping and massaging, and see what works best for you. The last pain on the list is the pain that you get in your wrist. Before telling you what you can do against this pain, I will tell you what you can do to avoid this pain in the first place. The wrist can bend and move in many different directions, which are radial deviation, which in arm wrestling we call rising, ulnar deviation, which is exactly the opposite, the ability to push your wrist down, wrist flexors, wrist extensors, pronation, and supination. We arm wrestlers focus a lot on training our rising, wrist flexors, pronation, and supination. But most of the arm wrestlers neglect the other two wrist movements, which are ulnar deviation, the ability to push your wrist down, and wrist extensors. This is a major problem because over time, imbalances will occur and you will start having pain and even long-term injuries. This is by far the most important tip that I can give you. Train all the different wrist directions. Of course, you will put more energy and focus into the main movements, but you cannot neglect the other ones completely. This is the case for every muscle in your body. You also have to train the opposite muscle to avoid imbalances. But if you train your wrist properly and you still get pain from training, the most effective way to recover, in my opinion, is to pump blood in your wrist. It's very hard to massage it properly because you have a lot of ligaments and tendons in your wrist, and cooling it up never really helped me. Find the spot that is hurting and do some movement for that area with very light weights or with a light resistance band. And give it time. The wrist is a very complicated and fragile structure of the body, especially at the beginning of your arm wrestling journey. Now, as a bonus, I'll give you a few more tips to get better at arm wrestling and stay injury-free in the long run. First, try not to push yourself over your limits in your first months of arm wrestling. I know this is a hard thing to do. You want to pull everybody and beat everybody, but you have to understand that your arms are very fragile at the beginning and the risk of injury is very high. Focus yourself on developing a very good technique and building a strong base. After about 6 months of training, you can slowly start entering tournaments and starting to push yourself harder and harder every time. Secondly, when you do your recovery training, you should pump blood in the inflamed area using very light weights or very light resistance bands. I can't give you an exact number of how many reps and sets you should do. You should go by feeling and you will know exactly when the inflamed area is pumped. It's also important not to overdo it. Even though it's recovery training, you should do this only to heal up quickly and you should not get exhausted from it. Thirdly, after every table time session, I will recommend you to do 2 or 3 days of recovery training depending on your level of soreness. After that, you can start training heavy again. If you will do your weight training right after your table session, you will not be able to work with decent weights because you are still beat up, so you won't really progress in your strength growth. And my last tip for you in this video is be patient. Arm wrestling is something that takes a lot of years to improve on. In 99.9% of the cases, you will not come into the sport and start crushing everybody. There are few such examples, but they are very rare. Todd Hutchings said this, and I absolutely agree with him. Your objective should be to become a national level puller within 5 years of arm wrestling. This is a very realistic goal and a very achievable goal if you put the work in, of course. As everything that is worth having, nothing will come easy. These were some strategies and techniques that you can use to recover after hard arm wrestling sessions. If you have any questions, put it in the comment section, I will answer them all. Also, if my videos help you train smarter and get stronger, you can support the channel, link is down below. Keep your eyes on this channel, great stuff is coming.